Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, once again, this is Gregory Wiles coming to you live from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning walk. Inspirational morning walk. Yes, for first time listeners, I just get some exercise in the mornings and I just share my thoughts with you guys. Whatever I'm inspired to talk about that day, I will share it with you guys to get your day started, just get you something positive to get your day started, because there's so much negativity we can encounter during the day. Getting something positive in your mind first thing in the morning is a good way to start the day. So that's my goal. That's my goal. Bring a different perspective to things that you did not think about or did not consider. It's all about getting knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, which I'm focusing right now. All right, so this is Gregory Wild. You can see me sitting in my vehicle today. Actually, it's a beautiful day out there. It's just around 60 degrees. I'm really excited to jump back into my walking, but I can take a little pause from the walk right now because, like the last 2 days, this topic I'm on, I want to give you guys as much information as possible. So I got a few pages to flip through, and it's a little easier when I am stationary. It's not as easy when I'm walking or standing. So just these, maybe, I don't know, the next day I might be just back walking while I'm doing it. But I just want to give as much information as possible. I want to bring home this point so you guys can understand it properly, because I like to give you everything I say, back it up with the scriptures, and sometimes I just can't summarize some of the scriptures and for you get the whole meaning. So I want you to get the whole meaning of where I'm getting my information from, and sometimes I have to go through some more of the scriptures for bring home the point. So that's why I'm getting a vehicle again today. Good morning, Tessa. Good morning. But actually, I'm going to jump right back out there as soon as I'm finished here. It's a beautiful day. It's just around 60 degrees. But it's sprinkling a little bit too. It's sprinkling a little bit too. So that's why it's a little safer for me to be in here so I can focus on what I need to do. But yes, we're on this topic. Julian, good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Hope all is well where you guys are. Yes, same deal like the last 2 days. I can just sit in the vehicle and get to flip through these pages and focus on what I need to do properly. So what I plan doing today, right, guys? So curses, these generational curses can come on you not only by putting your hands to iniquity. It can also come to you by words spoken words. You can speak curses on someone. We talked about this before, about saying negative things to your kids, or even saying negative things to yourself or other people, right? I remember death and life resides in the power of thy tongue, right? But I can go in a little, since we're on generational curses. This is the way a generational curse can come on you and your family. And I'm going to show you two examples in the Bible. And these curses do not respect ranks. They do not respect your position. They do not respect your authority. You could be a minister of the word. You can be called by God, and a generational curse can still affect you, right? It has nothing to do with if you were called or not, or you were president or prime minister, you were whatever you be. Generational curse does not respect no ranks, does not respect its laws. Remember, we tell you this universe operate by laws, and if these laws are broken, it doesn't matter who it is. It's going to run its course in your life until it's recognized, right? So let's go to Genesis. Let's think about Jacob. When Jacob, back in the days, the Hebrews was big on this. Before their father died, they would call all the kids together and pronounce blessings and then pass on that spiritual blessings to his kids and stuff like that, right? So this is Jacob. Remember Jacob, right? We talk about Jacob. He is Abraham's grandson, blah blah blah, right? So um so yes, no, just Jacob is his son, right? Yes, anyhow. So he called his kids together. Remember, the 12 tribes came out of him, right? The 12 tribes came out of him. So he called them together and he was blessing them. So let's take those what he was saying, right? So we're going from Genesis 49. Genesis 49, I can read from a 1 through 4 first, right? Then Jacob called together all his sons and said, gather around me, and I will tell you what will happen to each of you in the days to come, right? Come and listen to your Come and listen, you sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father. Remember, his name was changed to Israel, right? Reuben, you are my firstborn, my strength, the child of my vigorous youth. You are first in rank and first in power. Some other translations saying excel in honor and excel in power, right? So this is Reuben. You remember the firstborn got a lot of rights. So he's giving Reuben, you are the first of my, you are the firstborn, my strength, the child of my vigorous root. You are the first in rank and first in power. But then he went on to say, but you are as unruly as a flood. That's what Reuben should be, excelling in honor and excelling in power. But then how he changed his blessings here right now to a curse. He said, but you are as unruly as a flood. You will be first no longer. Hold on. This man's supposed to get the firstborn rights. You tell him he's first in rank and excel in power and all that. Now we telling him you shall be first no longer. Why would he tell him that though? Let's go on and see why he would change his blessing to a curse on his firstborn, right? He said, for you went to the bed with my wife. You defiled my marriage couch. What Reuben did not know, guys. Reuben had slept with one of his concubines. You remember Rachel, his mother, right? His mother Jacob had married the two sisters, Rachel and Leah. And Rachel's the one you really love. You go back and look at the story, how that all happened, right? Rachel's the one you really love, right? But Leah, the one kept getting a lot of kids. And back in the days, this woman, she feel if she didn't get no kids, she kind of losing her rank, and her husband might like her sister more than her. So she had one of her maids and tell Jacob, just like what Abraham's wife did, sleep with her, get children, and call them like my children, because it's my maid, so they can become my children. But anyhow, then she went on to get Benjamin and Joseph, right? But anyhow, so this Bilhah. So when Rachel had died, right? When Rachel had died, let me read it quick. It's found in Genesis 35, 21 through 22. I'm going to read. Anyhow, when Rachel had died, they just bury her and the traveling on the trip, right? This is where I can pick it up from. Then Jacob traveled on and camped beyond Middle Eder. While he was living there, Reuben had intercourse with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Jacob soon heard about it. But Jacob heard about it, he didn't do nothing. He played like he didn't know, right? So this was the one his son went and sleep with. So his father changing now his blessings to a curse. He tell you are as unruly as a flood, or some translations say unstable as water. And he tell you will be first no longer. You will be first no longer. And if you follow, I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. But if you follow the Reubenites, because he's Reuben, they come from the tribe of Reuben, right? The Reubenites, all those, the Reubenites come from his seed. That's how they started, right? And they were as unruly. They started to cause trouble. That tribe, which supposed to be power and first in line and all of that, because of these words that the father spoke of him, changed the whole course of the Reubenites. Because Jacob cursed their father, right? Ivor Thompson, Carl Dujan, thank you guys. Because he cursed their father. Remember, I used the example about the apple tree. If the tree is poison, everything that comes from it is going to be poison. So he changed the whole course of this tribe, the Reubenites, by cursing their father because of what he did. Jacob could have punished the guy when he did it, but you know what? He did something worse. He messed the whole bloodline of the Reubenites up, right? And they went on, if you look at the history, I can give you a quick little history because I want to move on to the next one. I don't want to go on too long. You could look at this whole story, right? But remember when this guy Korah lead the rebellion against Moses, right? He was actually a Levite, but he hired these two bad guys that was known for trouble, Dathan and Abraham. There was two brothers who was from the tribe of Reuben. Then he get them to get up the whole crew and lead the rebellion against Moses, because Korah was telling Moses, who you think you be? You appoint your brothers chief priests. That wasn't appointed by God. You just want to do what you want to do. You think God only talk to you alone. God will talk to other people too, and they're going to overthrow him and all of that, right? And then Moses tell him, hey, you know what? Get up your men. God tell Moses, look, separate yourself from these guys, because what they're doing here, I'm going to destroy all of them. I'm going to open up this ground and swallow them up. You remember the story, right? And then when Moses tell the people, just separate yourself from these guys, from Korah, Dathan, and Abraham. Separate yourself from these guys because this is what God can do. God can swallow them up, right? And then before, I can pick it up from Numbers 16:31 through 35, and right? He had hardly finished speaking. This is when Moses had hardly finished and telling the people separate themselves from these three guys because what God can do to them, right? He had hardly finished speaking the words when the ground suddenly split open beneath them. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed the men along with their households and all their followers, and all their followers were standing with them, and everything they owned. You see? See the next thing I'm saying but a course here. When they do this wickedness, they get swallowed up with all the household. Now, was it fair for the kids and all of them who didn't do nothing? And they had to get swallowed up because of the sins of the parents there, right? But anyhow, they went down and they get swallowed up, and then the fire come, the blazing fire, burn up the 250 men and all. You can read the story, but I just want to show you. The father changed the course of this tribe when they're supposed to be first in rank in power and might, but because he spoke these words over the father, it messed up this whole tribe. You could go and do your history, right? But what I want to show you too, before Moses in Deuteronomy 33:6, right? Moses couldn't go to the promised land, so he blessing the tribe before they go to the promised land, and he blessed each tribe, calling out each tribe, right? So this is what he said about the Reubenites. Moses recognized the curse over them. Moses, a man of God, right? He recognized the curse over the Reubenites tribe. So before they go into the promised land, this is what Reuben said to the tribe of Reuben. He said, "Let Reuben live." He's telling God, "Let Reuben live and not die, nor his people be few." Because he recognized the curse over this tribe. So this is the blessings. He now pronouncing blessings over them now to change this course what the Reubenites were on before they go to the promised land. So he's saying, let Reuben live and not die. This is spiritual living spiritually. Let them get that power. Let them enjoy the life and not this life what they live in. Let them live. Let them live, man. Let them enjoy themselves. Let them have a fruitful life. He recognized the curse and he broke it before they go to the promised land. And if you follow it from then, the course of the Reubenites had changed, right? Just the bare words. The father spoke it and put the curse, and Moses recognized it and break it, right? But let me go, because Mr. Moses, he recognized the curse on the Reubenites, but he didn't recognize, no one recognized the curse on him. So let's go down now. This is what, you remember there, he said that's what he spoke over his son Reuben. Now let's go down to the same Genesis 49. We can read from 5 to 7 and let him see the blessings he spoke over two of his other sons now we can deal with. You could go and read all the blessings of what he spoke over his children. But the other two now is Simeon and Levi, right? This is from Genesis 5. This is what he said to Simeon and Levi. Simeon and Levi are two of a kind. They were brothers. Some translations tell you they're brothers, right? Simeon and Levi are two of a kind. Their weapons are instruments of violence. May I never join in their meetings. May I never be a party to their plans. For in their anger they murder men, and they cripple oxen just for sport. A curse on their anger, for it's fierce. A curse on their wrath, for it's cruel. I will scatter them among the descendants of Jacob, and I will disperse them through Israel. So this is his sons, and this is how cruel he treated them. Instead of he spoke blessings over them, he's speaking curses. But why? Why? Remember he said, for in their anger they murder men, right? And again, Jacob, I don't know, man. Jacob was something else. All of this stuff Jacob harbor when these guys did and didn't tell them nothing and try to correct them and try to punish them when they do it. But Jacob wait on his dying bed to curse their whole bloodline. He said, yeah, what y'all did deserve more than just me punishing y'all. I can mess up your whole bloodline. Because I know the power I have as a father over this family. My words can change the course of your life. And that's what he decided to punish these guys. Let's see what they did, though. Remember he said their anger has murdered men? Remember the sister. They had a sister, right? And this guy from this other tribe had raped the sister. They had raped her, Dinah. They had raped her. And the sister was these guys' full sister. They come from the same mother. right? So them guys decide, and then the guy fall in love with the sister, and he tell his father, man, dad, I really love this. Go to Jacob and ask him if we could make some amends, right? I want to marry her now. I want to marry her. I rape her. I know I did something bad, and we're willing to do whatever they want us to do. So, long story short, them guys say, you know what? And he said, man, the guy come and said, Jacob, man, let's intermarry you could have my daughters, and my guys have your daughters, and we can all intermarry and all of that. And first Jacob was saying, no, we can't do that. But then them boys come up with the idea and say, hey, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. But first, your men got to be circumcised just like us before we can marry your daughters, and they can have our sisters and our women. They all have to be circumcised, and then we can let this thing settle, and we good. The man said, okay, you go back to his tribe, and then, they get circumcised. All the men decide, okay, that's not a bad thing. We can all get circumcised so we can intermarry with them. And when the men get circumcised on the first night, they're going to pick it up from there, right? All the men get circumcised. And look what Simeon and Levi did. That's why the father decide to put that curse their anger. Remember, he say your anger, curse be their anger, right? But let me pick it up from Genesis 25 here. He said, but 3 days later, when their wombs were still sore, that's when the men just get a circumcision. It's in pain, right? They're incapacitated, in pain, right? But 3 days later, when their wombs were still sore, 2 of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, who were Dinah's full brothers, took their swords and entered the town without opposition. These men are sick and hurting from the circumcision. So they entered them without opposition because the men couldn't fight back. They then slaughter every male there, including Harmon and his son Shechem. That's the same Shechem is the one who had raped Dinah, and Harmon is the father. They killed them with their swords, then took Dinah from Shechem's house, and returned to the camp. So they went out. They make an agreement. Remember I tell you guys about covenants we just did, right? They make a covenant with these guys. They make a deal with the men them and said, if you guys get circumcised, we okay with this. And then they went and killed the man when the man was in pain. So the father knew about it. The father knew. He didn't do nothing. He didn't say nothing. He pretended he didn't know, but he said, I got something worse for y'all. I'm going to change your whole family history because I know the power I have with my words as a father in this family. So this is why I was telling parents, don't say negative things to your kids because you got a certain power over those kids, right? So that's what he did. And he said, curse be their anger. Why I'm telling you this? Right? Because guess who come from this tribe? Guess who came from this tribe? You remember a man called Moses who lead them out to the promised land? Moses is come from the Levite. Moses is a Levite. Why you think Moses didn't get to go to the promised land? Because of the same anger. Let's go through a few of Moses' stuff here, right? The Bible describes Moses in Numbers 12:3. Moses is the meekest man in the world. Now Moses was very humble, more humble than any other person on earth. That's what in some translations say meek. The meekest man. That's how it described Moses. That was Moses' nature. The meekest man, right? But here we come to this meekest man, why he didn't get to go to the promised land. Moses escaped the mean. So first thing he did, you remember when he killed a man, right? Many years later, when Moses was growing up, he went out to visit his own people, the Hebrews, and he saw how they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw an Egyptian beating one of his fellow Hebrews. After looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptians and hid his body, right? Remember, this is his first thing. He gets so angry, he killed that Egyptian. God was mistreating his people, right? So he killed the Egyptian, okay? All right, he killed the Egyptian. He had to flee. That's when he had to flee out of there. That's when he went in the wilderness, right? That's when he ran away from home. So let's see what happened after then. In Exodus 32:19, when Moses was given the 10 Commandments by God, you remember? Moses just get the 10 Commandments. God sit down up there. How long he spent up there and to write out all the laws, these 10 Commandments. Oh, and then it's in Exodus 32:19. When Moses approached the camp, this is when he come back, right? From the get the 10 commandments in his hand, this tablet. When Moses approached the camp and saw the calves and the dancing when they build the calf, right? And those watchmen gotta say Moses gone too long, and they get Aaron to build the golden calf and the watchmen. When Moses saw that, his anger burned, and he threw the tablet out of his hands, breaking them to pieces at the foot of the mountain. Just imagine how mad you get. You just come from the creator of the universe. Y'all spend how much days, 40 days up there coming up with the 10 commandments. And you come down and you see with these people, you get so angry and you break it. You break the 10 commandments, right? It's anger. Remember where the curse come from is Levite, where the father cursed him with the anger, right? And then let's come down in Exodus 32:20 and see how Moses' anger continue. Then here what Moses do to the same golden calf that they built. Hear what Moses did. Tell me if you got to be really mad to do this, right? He took the calf they had made and burned it. Then he ground it into powder, threw it in the water, and forced the people to drink it. That's how mad Moses got, right? This is how his anger. Remember, this is the meekest man on the earth. Why is he getting this angry? I know people can drive you to lengths, but did you ever do that when your kids get you upset or something? Did you push their head down in water? Did you do this kind of stuff to them? Did you get this angry? But no, this curse of anger was on Moses because it come down from his, I think his great or his grandfather who was Levite, right? Then let's go on to Numbers 27:3-11 to see how Moses' anger continue. Then the Lord said to Moses, you and Aaron must take the staff and assemble the entire community. As the people watch, speak to the rock over there and it will pour out its water. You will provide enough water for the rock to satisfy the whole community and their livestock. He says, speak to the rock, Moses. Speak to the rock, we can get enough water for the people. Then here my brother Moses did. So Moses did as he was told. He took the staff from the place where it was kept before the Lord. Then Moses and Aaron summoned the people to come and gather at the rock. Here Mr. Moses can tell the people, listen, you rebels, he shouted. Must we bring you water from the rock? Then Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with the staff, and the water gushed out. So the entire community and their livestock drank their fill. God said, Moses, speak to the rock. Calm yourself down. Just speak to the rock, and the water will come. Moses tell him, you rebels. And he whacked the rock twice hardly, and the water come up. And you see, his anger caused him not to get to the promised land. His anger, a man who God called, a man who had such a personal relationship with the creator of this universe, a generational curse, did not respect him. That generational curse did not respect him. He was called, handpicked by God, and he was still affected by a generational curse because of what his grandfather, grandfather spoke over his family. You see what I'm saying? But he was able to break the curse over the Reubenites, but no one side to break the curse over him. And it affected him from going to the promised land. How disappointed Moses must be. All that struggle, all these grumbling and complaining we did with these people, all he had to go through with Pharaoh, and he still did not get to go to the promised land. How disappointed Mr. Moses has felt. And he didn't know why. That anger came on him. He didn't know why. That anger came on him, and he did not get to go to the promised land, guys. So that's why I'm showing you with these generational curses. He didn't know it. He just know he getting angry, and he's supposed to be the meekest man in the world. So knowledge, that's what God said. My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. You think if Moses didn't know that, he wouldn't have corrected it? But he didn't have the knowledge, so he perished for it. He didn't get to go and finish the job that he started. So I'm telling you guys, and what I'm going to do, we're going to finish up this by Monday because I'm going to show you now where these same things, an object can be cursed. Something can be cursed. It's not only people get curses. These same words can curse objects. It can curse things. It can curse your car. It can put a curse in your house. It can put a curse in things. I'm going to show you 2 examples. Then we can move on from this. I think you guys get the message. Then we're going to see how we need to do to break these curses. Right, guys? So have a great day, guys. And we'll talk again next time when we meet. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.